At that point, my bill was $2,500.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like the limit I had set for OpenAI. The only thing I could do at that point was take the app off the App Store, delete any key that I had. Every time I changed the key, they sold it within hours or minutes. Yeah, so the only income stream right now was Pico.
Right, Fernando here. I'm actually heading into downtown Los Altos right now to go meet a new online friend. This person saw my video about me leaving Apple, and there's a really interesting, valuable lesson that I would like to learn from this person, because he went through an experience where his OpenAI key got hacked right now as we speak, and has taken his app off to the App Store because it's literally costing him like $1,000 an hour or something like that. As he's reposted, it cost him another $1,000, and I'm just really interested to hear, how he discovered what's going on, what the process is. And I think there's just a lot to learn just from this small nugget of conversation, and I want to make sure that you're involved with that. So stay tuned. It's going to be a really fun one.
Yep. My name is Ronald Mannak, and I'm a software developer.
Yes, excellent. So we're here today learning in public, and I'm taking you on this journey to learn with me in this new space of AI engineering. So having a background, having worked at Apple for a while, I've been out of the game for a little bit, and I'm trying to get back into the weeds of things. And I thought I'd reach out to my friend here, Ronald. Actually, we met on Spaces. We were just talking about Twitter Spaces, and there's just our interest in AI. And there's a lot of interesting stories they share. And the one I'm most interested in hearing about is how your API key has basically been hacked, and you've been spending thousands of dollars every day. And he even had to take down his app from the App Store. So just really curious.
Yeah, so I have an app in the App Store. Basically, it's a GPT wrapper, a chat app called Pico.
Mm-hmm.
It's available for iOS and macOS, and has been in the App Store since February. Basically has been going well.
Yes.
But as every like any developer, you have to sometimes cut corners.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way sometimes.
Yeah.
And the corner that I cut was that the key, the API key,
Mm-hmm.
that grants you access to all OpenAI API calls,
Mm-hmm.
was stored in the app. Or more precisely, I stored it in iCloud,
Mm-hmm.
in CloudKit in iCloud.
Got it.
And every time the app would make a call, I would get it from CloudKit,
Yes.
insert it into like the API call, and then make the call. I knew it was possible to hack that.
Wow.
With a man-in-the-middle attack. Basically, the only thing you have to do is run Charles Proxy, which is a small software piece that sits in the middle between your app and like any API the app is making calls to, and it decrypts the traffic, and you can see the API key in the traffic without any issue. So up until now, there wasn't any issue. There were a few points like in the past that I saw there was more traffic than the app generated. So somebody figured out how to get the key and use it for their own like purposes, and that's fine. I mean that's totally fine. However, what happened on December the 16th of this year, so a few days ago, was that instead of like a little bit more traffic, I suddenly saw like thousands or tens of thousands API calls that were not from my app, and were actually to models that were not like even used by my app.
I see.
So my OpenAI key must have leaked. Likely through like the man-in-the-middle attack, because there's not much other ways of easily getting that key. And even worse, it was not like used by one person.
Wow.
So likely they either like sold or shared the key with maybe like another GPT wrapper.
Wow.
Like a malicious app that uses like stolen keys, or it was like probably used on a forum with like many users. I'm not 100% sure who and what.
Like a black market or something.
Maybe something like that. Probably. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's the only thing I can think of.
Wow.
So what happened was that I noticed it pretty quickly. So normally what I do is I regenerate the key, swap the key with a new key. And usually when it happens, things like this, and again, it usually happens like in a very small scale.
Right.
The attacks would stop. Like usually I do it every week, like update the key. Here I did it like once every few hours, and I thought it would go away, but it didn't. So every time I changed the key, they sold it within hours or minutes even.
Wow.
Again.
goodness.
So this was really organized.
Huh.
It was organized in a way that the speed which they stole the keys,
Yes.
and it was organized because like the amount of traffic was just completely insane. Tens of thousands of calls like within a few minutes.
Whoa.
That's a lot of traffic. You don't get
Holy
it
moly.
like easily. My app
Wow.
doesn't generate that kind of traffic for sure. So the only thing I could do at that point was take the app off the App Store, delete any key that I had. Because at that point, my bill was $2,500.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like the limit I had set for OpenAI. So you had to set a limit, right? And luckily I set it 2,500, not 5,000 or 10,000 or something.
Yes.
But yeah, that was reached, and my access to OpenAI was shut down for the rest of the month.
Oh, so anyone who has the app installed already, who's trying to use it right now, is
Cannot
basically
use it.
getting an error.
Yeah, they're getting an error. Yeah.
So
And
you have to send an email to your audience saying,
so what I didn't want to do is like have too much like overhead. So if you have a subscription, you can use the app, like subscription in iOS App Store subscription. So I don't have like the email addresses of the users. Which is another like thing that might be a good idea to have in the future. So I had no way of communicating with my users.
That is interesting.
So this is not a great experience from a user perspective, and I do see that a lot of users, rightfully so, cancel their subscription. I mean, I would do the same. Because my usage was pretty high, so I know like the usage per user.
Wow.
Is on the high end. My retention is high. Like the top, was it 5 percentile of what the App Store tracks. But yeah, so people will found out pretty quickly because my usage is so high, retention is so high. So yeah, no, I had to pull the App Store from the App Store. Block the access for all users. And the bad thing is the timing. The timing is like horrible,
right?
Because this is Christmas, right? It's Boxing Day today.
Oh man!
They started on the 16th. It went on for 2 or 3 days until they hit the $2,500 limit.
Yes.
First of all, Apple app reviews are slow around Christmas.
Oh, because the shutdown of the company.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I cannot get an update out. Secondly, I'm missing out on all the Christmas sales because like Christmas is traditionally like the top sales.
That's right.
Of the App Store.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm missing out on that. Wow. And of course, as I said, on top of that, the current users that were paying are canceling their subscriptions. So that's like the worst timing ever.
So what does your app do? I guess, and what's the name of the app and stuff?
The app is called Pico.
Pico.
And it's a GPT wrapper. It's a chat app for GPT. It was one of the first ones in the App Store. And the difference is with like other apps is that it makes it extremely easy for like new users to get into like chatting. There's like a number of personas.
Oh, cool.
That help you start like the conversations, like a teacher, for example, that helps you understand information.
Oh, wow.
That you can upload yourself, like a PDF or something like that, or just could be like something that the GPT already knows. And it will walk you through like the concept, the basic concepts, ask questions, multiple choice questions.
Wow.
And adjust like everything. So these are pretty neat things in the app.
So I could just pull out my phone, upload a PDF about this thing I'm learning, or like if I'm in the finance industry and I want to parse through like a 10K or maybe parse through a report that I got from Bloomberg, it could just kind of, I can have this conversation with it and be very interactive. Oh, and it has like these different modes into it. So you're saying a wrapper. So then when a user was asking any questions behind the scenes, your app was calling to OpenAI to make these requests.
Correct.
And you're doing all this magic on was the code on the client side in terms of figuring out what context to put up and then send to OpenAI? Okay.
Correct. That's pure client side.
Okay.
I had a server component at one point on AWS.
Yes.
However, there were some issues with like the time it took for answers to come back from OpenAI. And they timed out. So AWS timed out.
I see.
So I got rid of
less
that.
Complexity.
Yes, it was more complex, and that like I got like users that started complaining like, hey, the app doesn't respond.
Oh,
and it
no.
turned out that the complex questions,
Yes.
it took OpenAI too long to come up to start like with the answer,
Oh,
and that led to a timeout at AWS.
So I'm not familiar with developing stuff like with OpenAI. I've just been experimenting more on using NextJS and using Vercel to just basically handle everything server side. So I'm kind of lucky with that because like as soon as you make a request using the SDK from Vercel, their AI SDK, it's right, whatever's on the edge will just get sent back, and it's a super fast response to the user. It's not like a lot to think about from myself from an implementation standpoint. So your design from the server to simplify it, you basically had to the user types something into the keyboard, they hit send, and it goes to Apple's iCloud first to build a key.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then from there, it comes. Then it sends that back to the client, and then sends that over to OpenAI with
Correct.
this. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So it goes up to the cloud, hits the key at requests. Then your client then has this new body of information to send over to OpenAI. And so at that point, now you've handed off the interaction between your device that's talking to, Pico is now talking directly to OpenAI, and then getting this response stream back to the device, so it feels like it's more of a better experience.
Yes.
As opposed to kind of adding an additional server in the back end that would do this looping and cause complications or whatever, depending on what regions they're in. So did you sell in all regions, or was it just in the US that you will?
No, I sold all regions except the ones that were not allowed, like China, for example.
Okay.
And I think there's like a couple of countries where OpenAI is not like available.
That's right.
I didn't sell in these countries, but mostly like my most active user base is from US and Canada.
Wow.
From Europe, especially Germany.
Yeah.
And for some reason Vietnam. Though I don't know if that's really Vietnamese users or maybe Chinese users trying to use the app through a VPN or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
If anyone knows, drop a comment. Right. So I guess we could talk a little bit more about like who you are and like, your income stream, because and whatever. So it's not like you're like this corporate back. So just tell us a little bit more about you and like how this is like your livelihood, right? Because you're
It is, yeah. So the only income stream right now was Pico, and that's gone now for now.
So as an entrepreneur, as a single person type of company, this is
pretty horrible. Yes, yeah. And I'm bootstrapped, so it's my own savings. That's pretty hard. Then again, I mean, I've done this before.
Yeah.
I know it's always like tricky, and you will have like at least like a dozen near-death experiences in any startup. So this is one.
Oh, that's pretty heavy. That's huge. Yeah, it's like the biggest stab to the heart, right? Because you're thinking, like you just said, right before Christmas.
Yes.
Your subscribers have already unsubscribed. You have users who you don't really have their email address because they're, doing everything through the App Store. And the only way that they know is right now if they launch the app is basically, was it make a request, or does it pop up a screen saying there's an issue or something, or?
No, that's another thing. Like the error message is not quite clear. So it looks like the app is not like functioning. I mean, it is not functioning, of course.
Exactly.
But that's also something that so there's a lot of lessons here that I will like take into account in the next version.
Yes.
So one is definitely you want to have a way to communicate with your users, not just email, but like something that can pop up on the screen when they open the app. Something happens, right?
Yes.
There should have been like a message,
like an SOS beacon of like.
Yes, hey, exactly. The app is temporarily disabled. We will get back as soon as we can. We will have a free month or free months for all the users who stay on the app.
Wow.
But yeah, bear with me or something like that.
Interesting.
So I didn't have that. So that's one thing I definitely wanna add.
Yeah.
The second thing that I learned is that there has to be a server in the middle with like that to guard the OpenAI key. Again, so I knew there was a risk by having the key sent from the app to OpenAI directly. But I didn't think of. So I didn't anticipate like the scale of the attack that's happening right now.
That's right.
I didn't anticipate basically organized criminals. That's what they are, right?
That's right.
That sell or distribute the key in such a way as they do now, because there must be thousands of people using my key. There's no other way, because the requests are just too many requests. My scenario was like a hacker will steal the OpenAI key,
Right.
will use it for its own free queries, and that's fine.
Like,
okay.
that's cute. You're doing
sure.
like 5 requests. It's going to cost me
Sure.
5 cents or something.
Yeah. Do that. Be happy. That's totally fine. But like an organized organization that steals these keys and probably is selling these to whoever, that I did not see coming. That was completely not something I thought. So yeah, so there has to be like a server.
Yes.
So what I'm doing right now is writing an open source server in the open on Twitter.
Yes.
So everybody can follow what I'm doing. That does a couple of things. So one is written in Swift for iOS and Mac developers who develop in Swift usually. It's very easy to deploy that and change that to their likings, because they don't have to use JS or whatever they might not be comfortable in, but just like plain Swift. Second thing that it does, it uses app attestation to make sure the app that is calling is indeed your own app. So it gets signed by Apple. That's like a way of making sure that the app is indeed like the app it claims to be.
Oh, that's cool.
And the third thing it does is it checks the receipts, the App Store receipts, so that you definitely know that this person has a subscription. And you can even and that's something for in the future, do a rate limiter. Because that's something I learned pretty early on as well. Because the early version of Pico didn't have a rate limiter. And I wanted to keep it simple to launch. I mean, every first version has to be simple, that you can ship it, and it should be simple enough for users. Exactly. So what I did, I had a fixed subscription fee of $9.99 that I charged per month, and for that you got like unlimited questions.
Nice.
And with the idea that maybe the first month people will use it a lot, but the second month will be probably a lot less. That's not what happens.
Well, that's a good problem to have, actually.
It is.
Tells you something.
It's definitely a first world problem to have, especially when GPT-4 launched and I switched to GPT-4.
Oh wow!
Suddenly, the costs were way higher than the subscription that I received.
But the value was really high that people received.
Yeah. No, it was a good thing. So people use it, which was great.
Yes.
And people kept using it. The retention numbers were really high of my app.
Wow.
But it's not great for unit economics if people use more than they pay you.
That's right.
So
unless you're a startup backed by lots of money, but you're bootstrapped again.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was my own savings that went into that learning. So what I did is people have a limited number of GPT-4 questions. Once that limit is reached, you get automatically thrown back to GPT 3.5, which is still very good.
Yes.
Just not as good as GPT-4. And every month, the first of every month, that limit resets again. So you can start using GPT-4 again. So that's kind of what I did. So that's what brought the unit economics back into order.
Wow. So just to kind of summarize again, you have this app, Pico, at the App Store, and it's been helping people, learn and act. You have these personas that the app portrays, and then you can give it documents and does parsing, and you could basically have these really cool conversations. So it's almost like an enhanced version of the ChatGPT app, but it's just a little bit different types of use cases. And in this case, while people were using it, you've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And one thing you didn't realize is what happened if the entire cord was pulled, meaning if the OpenAI went down, or if the key was compromised and you couldn't talk to the app anymore or deploy more updates, like this edge case, because you're just, as you do, you're a single person kind of company, you're just trying to get the product out there as fast as possible. And then now you're building a user base and people are actually using it, which is a good problem. And now people are figuring out hey, this app no longer works and I'm paying for it. I'm going to stop this thing. And then the other part of it is now, since the App Store is kind of going through this freeze period of time until people are back from the holiday vacation, any app updates are pretty much frozen from a review standpoint for probably a couple weeks or something like that. And you can't like push a new message saying, hey, we did this or anything like that. That, we'll be back soon, unless the code was already there to handle that from a server standpoint. So there's a lot. Oh my God, the series of events that has gone on. So now your hair is like, I'm surprised you still have some hair left. And then your hair is not completely pulled out. That's pretty wild.
It's not my first startup, so that helps a lot. But no, it is frustrating. It is frustrating. And of course, I mean, it's my own fault, of course, that I cut corners. Let that be clear. I'm not like blaming anyone.
Of course.
But myself for cutting these corners. Just like the scenario that happens.
Yes.
Is something that I never like anticipated.
So what would you say to someone like me? I'm still trying to get started, right? And so I haven't, I've toyed around with making with the new headset that's going to come out, the Vision Pro. I was like, oh, that seems like fun. I could maybe do some AI stuff with it. But then like your experience really kind of teaches me lessons. Like I can ship, but make sure I don't cut these types of corners. Like what would you prioritize? And like maybe advice to me. It was like,
it's a good question. It's always hard, right? Because there's always like trade-offs. I could have used like a server. I had a server at one point, but that caused like different problems because of weird timeouts in AWS, for example. So every like solution that you come up with has like different complications that you don't want to have if you're like a single like developer, an indie developer. So it's always a trade-off. There's no way around that. So what I'm doing right now is to make sure that you have like an option to have these safety measures in place without the barriers that AWS has, for example, by making like a server that's written in Swift that every like iOS developer understands.
Nice.
And that can be easily deployed on like Heroku or any other like platform.
Okay.
And you don't. I mean, all the issues that I ran into with AWS, I solved these. So I know what these issues were.
Wow.
And like developers who want to use OpenAI from any iOS or Mac app don't have to go through the same learning curve that I went through.
Oh my gosh. And you're open sourcing it.
It's open source, yes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, but it has to be. It has to be because like this is something that the whole community needs. Because in my case, it was $2,500. In other people's cases, it might be even more.
That's right.
Because the limits might be higher. So, and I don't want this to happen to anybody else. And again, I mean, I'm the one to blame for this.
Yes, of course.
I cut the corners. But this is something that should be a simple switch or like. I don't know. It should be something, and this is actually something that I wish Apple would have done a little bit differently. Because as easy as it is to deploy like your Swift code, your app to iOS or Mac using App Store, it's extremely hard to deploy your code to a server. So I wish Apple would have like a a kind of application server where you could just run your Swift code on their server.
Like you're building for the App Store, but just for like a server. Like, hey, here's my server component. It may or may not need a review as intense as like the app review, or maybe it could, or maybe it's probably bundled or something.
Because Apple already has like the server, it has already iCloud, so I'm using iCloud for a lot of things.
That's right.
In the app, like Cloud Kits and all these things that Apple has.
Yes.
But you cannot run code, and that's kind of the missing thing. It would be nice if it would be as easy to deploy code to your app, to the cloud as to your app. And that's something Apple's really missing.
Something because of like the new AI stuff that's been happening, that more and more people are using open.
No, I read it before. I mean, every developer. You mean the thing is normally in startups you have like a different person for like the backend and a different person for like the apps, the front ends. Like iOS developer plus like a what's now used for full stack or like whatever is used for backends developer. And that could be one person. It should be one person. In many cases. Because what's happening on the server is not rocket science. It's just a different environment, a different language, and different a lot of different things. But it shouldn't be that difference. So I think like if Apple would hopefully bring something like this in the next WWDC. Thank you. Where we could easily deploy code on iCloud.
Yes.
That would be huge for a lot of like especially smaller developers. For startups, you hire backend developer, but
That's right.
like
Yeah.
developers as me, bootstrapped, it would be a lifesaver. Yeah.
It's and for me, like you could just grab this template. So let's say you build it, and then you could just deploy it to iCloud, and it's kind of done.
Yeah.
You don't think about it. It's just part of your infrastructure, and should something melt down, you still can log into your iCloud and make some changes and redeploy or whatever you need to do. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, I assume that Apple is able to buy a better UI than
Yes.
AWS is.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is absolutely not easy to use. As a front-end developer, if you do it all day,
Yes.
sure. I mean, AWS is you know
Sure.
where things are
Yeah.
hidden.
Yeah.
Deep down in layers of which things are hard coded, because a lot of things are hard coded in AWS, like timeouts, for example. You cannot change them; they're hard coded for some weird reason. And
flying an airplane or AWS, which one do you think is harder?
I've seen enough movies that I think that a plane would be easier. I think, yeah. I mean, everybody has played like definitely like some Sims. I mean, how hard can it be?
Yeah, it's like I might just expose all of my data for this container for the whole world. Oops. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's security, anyways, right? That's nuts. So, what's the story of Pico then? Like, how did that come about in this evolution and like kind of
So for me, it all started like actually a year. Hey, that's interesting. So I didn't even think of that. Exactly a year ago. So I was in Vancouver with my girlfriend. Both of our parents live in Vancouver in BC, and in Vancouver it's cold and snowy and
by the way, it's cold for me here. It's barely like 58 degrees, and like I'm used to 71 being cold. So
I don't talk in Fahrenheit, but it is
like 21.
It's 14 degrees indeed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yes. 21 to 25 is my range. Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, it is cold for. I mean, it is weird. It should be warmer.
Yeah.
But Vancouver is a different. That's a whole different story. It's cold. So, I was working on a couple of projects that didn't go anywhere, and I kept reading about like the new AI models that came out. I kind of decided to just use the vacation in Vancouver to just start working on a couple of ideas, just to see if these ideas had legs or what these new AI models even could do. Because I was familiar with like AI, and for me AI was like hot dog or leg or cat or dog. These kind of very simple like models, like classifiers. But I had no idea that LLMs were already like at a point where you could talk to them. I had no idea.
I see.
So for me, like when I grew up, like I had a neighbor who was like older, and he told me a story one day that for him, I bought a new camera, like a photo camera. As a teenager, like not even there were no digital cameras at that point. It was like a real
like film, exposure,
yes.
Thing.
And I showed him like the photos, and he said like he looked at the photos and like, isn't this magic? And I'm looking at him and said, what do you mean? What I mean, how is this magic? It's a photo. I press the button and I get a photo. That's how these things work, right? Because I grew up with when photos were already a thing, but when he grew up, photos were not a thing. So for him, he lived in an era used to live in an era where photos, you were not able to capture something on film.
Wow.
And that you as like consumer were able to take a beautiful photo, or not so beautiful in my case back then, was like for him magical still. So similarly, probably like the kids that are walking here on the terrace around us, who are like 3 or 4 years old, when they grow up, AI will not be magical for them.
That's right.
But for you and me, we know the time before AI. Like that was like only a year ago.
Or like me, like before Google or something.
Exactly.
How did you live before Google?
Yeah, or maps. I mean, like or mobile phone.
I asked that question to my parents. I was like, hey, what did you do before maps? Like, I don't know how the hell did you guys.
Isn't it crazy? Or how?
It's like, how did you find these houses?
I mean, how do we meet each other? Like we texted like 4 or 5 times. Excuse me. We texted 4 or 5 times before like we met at the coffee shop, right? Today.
Oh right, yes.
Like hey, text me 10 minutes before you're etc. That's crazy. That we can do that. I mean, how did we do that before? I mean, I was alive then. I can't even remember how we did these things.
And so with this, the photo, your neighbor kind of inspired this whole sense of awe and wonder, I guess, about using stuff. Okay.
So this was something that is completely like out of this world to me. It will be very normal for people who grew up with it.
I see.
But I mean, I think it's for us.
Yes.
We have to understand like how crazy it is the time we're living in, because there's like times in technology where everything changes. Like the Mac, when it was introduced, it changes everything. When the iPhone was launched, it changed everything. This is another like pivotal moment in like tech history where everything we know changes.
Wow.
And the reason for that is simply because AI can do things that weren't possible before. And the impact of that will be. So I had this conversation actually with a senior AI researcher at Apple actually. And I said like, well, what I can do with ChatGPT, I can like make it generate an application for me, which is insane. So why would I? Because if you think of that what's possible today, what will be possible like in a year or in 2 years?
Yes.
So why would I download an app? Why would I buy an app? Like for example, if I want to create an image or edit an image, a photo, why would I buy Photoshop? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because like an LLM is able to read the file because it knows the file's formats of Photoshop because it has all the data in its brain somewhere, and is every application, if it's Photoshop or Word or what have you, they only do like a couple of very basic things. They read information.
Yes.
They transform that information into something else.
Yeah.
They show that new information on screen and save it on disk. And that's all apps do.
Yes.
That's all what apps do. They read information, transform it, save it back on disk, and that might be like a user interaction.
Show you some pixels.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or audio, video.
These are all things that an LM can do. And some people call it like a one-time app. I think Linus is calling it like that. I call it like an LLM OS, and I wrote like a blog post about that back in May of this year.
I see.
That this is I think where we're going. There will be no app store anymore in the future.
I see.
Your OS will be able to create any application you want on the spot for a one-time use. And you don't have to buy all these apps anymore. It will be a one-time use that the LLM will create for you.
So have you seen that thing from Humane where they have the AI pin you can push on it?
That, yeah.
So it's really interesting because they're not releasing an app store or anything. They're just, people are asking like, so how do you do XYZ? And they're just like, there is no app. Like you just talk to it.
Exactly.
And so what you're describing is almost that use case, like looking far into the future and where everyone's kind of looking at today's paradigm, which is using like apps. So is that kind of like where people are like, hey, we have a fax machine now, and I'm just going to send you more copies of things. And you're like, where are you going to store these? You know, you just file cabinets with all the fax machine, output. And then like, and then now you don't need those storage cabinets anymore because it's all digitally stored and people are actually saying it's secure. And like, so this is kind of like another new paradigm you're describing now with like less apps and more things. And so
I mean, I'm not claiming that my idea was unique. I just wrote it down like some weird ideas, and I have to update that blog post anyway because it's like pretty dated if you look back at it, because everything changes so fast in AI.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, like the pin is one example of a company that has the same like ideas. But also like there was a video from OpenAI like probably a month ago in November where they explained like an LLM OS concepts architecture.
Yes.
That's like yeah, it's exactly like what where I think it is going. Yeah, that's
right.
the future. These things have to be built in. It's not like I mean, I'm in the GPT wrapper space.
Yes.
And a lot of people I talk to say, yeah, but you have no moat. No, but nobody has a moat in this space. Like models don't have a moat either.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole reason why OpenAI is introducing all these like tools. They're going vertical, like you can do your RAG now on OpenAI.
Yes.
What they want to do is make sure that the developers don't leave. They will like lock in the developers. That's what they're trying to do, I think, because like if you have a model and an API, it will be very hard to compete with like the others because there will be open source models, whether it's Llama or Mistral or what have you.
Yes.
There will be more in the near future probably.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like a race who has the best answers, and then the question is, the answer is now like GPT. That's the best answers for now.
I see.
But maybe next month it will be somebody else.
Yeah.
And then you
Let's
have
just say Google's Gemini Ultra, you know, not only passes bar exams, but can like do some crazy tests that we didn't think possible to solve the impossible math problems. Or like that becomes the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like for 2024. Who knows? But like. That's interesting. So I think the interesting thing you brought about was like the no moat concept. And I'm seeing a lot of different things online. So people are either trying to chase VC capital, and then there's also a bigger group of people who aren't doing that yet, or maybe don't have plans to. And then there's like this other theme that the economy is tightening, and then there's a whole set of people who are trying to bootstrap. And I guess we're sort of in the bootstrappy space because it's just us coming up with ideas, trying to figure out how to use this. How do you, it sounds like when you're approaching these problems, doing it from a like untraditional, like breaking some rules, right? Like I feel like in photography, there's rules that you can follow, but then if you break the rules, you kind of become artistic.
Right.
So is it kind of like the same concept here that you're thinking? And like, it sounds like you've also had a lot of experience going back, having had different startups that you're a part of and either did well or failed or something. And so like, in this space, what is some of your advice maybe to some younger people who are getting started? Maybe they're college, they're in a different country, and they're just trying to get, they hear a lot about AI, they see how powerful it is. What's your advice to them? Because they're looking at these, like I'm looking at the Y Combinator videos, and they're like, have a moat, make sure you're in the right wave of things. If you're putting the same amount of effort into a topic or a specific problem you're solving, is it a big enough problem to solve? Like, it sounds like some of those things are pretty important, but the moat one specifically sounds really interesting.
Yeah. I think this market is so different that you have to ignore a couple of like the rules that were. The moat might not be like the most important part, because in the end we're all like dependent on models that we didn't make ourselves because we can't, because they're too expensive to make. So I think like if you're working on like consumer facing apps or sites, it is important to have like either a very narrow like target audience. To solve one problem really well for like a small group of people, and from there you can build like new features, broaden like your. But you have to have like this. When I started, there were no like chat applications, or the ones that were there were really bad. So I had the advantage of that, like the pure luck,
like
the
first
timing.
mover type of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
And good experience, and then kept adding features. Okay.
Yeah. So good UI, which ones didn't have. Things that people wanted is like not only like chat with PDF, but I want to also like drag in my Word documents, my Excel sheets, my EPUB, electronic books. But
wow.
Sure, hey.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can do that. So at least with Pico, that's all built in.
Yeah.
And that's purely based on the customer feedback. The user feedback is it's so useful.
Wow. Okay, so that's like if you were to prioritize one thing, get a core group of users.
Yeah.
And then their feedback is just basically your gold mine that you keep digging through and keep mining in terms of trying to
iterative like process, just to keep iterating on like that.
And
that's how
so it
it
doesn't
works,
have to be a sexy, like, you know, you have a
No.
million users or thousands and thousands of users.
That would
Literally,
be
it could
nice.
just be a, yeah, it would be like, but your small core, maybe 100 users, something can be a lot of valuable information, enough data
Yeah.
points to give you where you should maybe go with things, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's like it doesn't have to be sexy at all. Actually, I mean, the less sexy it is, maybe the better sometimes. No, I saw a tweet from Robert, and apology, I forgot your last name.
Global? Okay.
No, Robert, from Berlin.
Okay.
He has a Polish name. I mean,
Yes.
that's.
I feel like your
It's not
name
my
in
fault. I
AI
mean,
could be like Robert or Sam
yeah.
or
But
like
the
some.
first names are fine, but these last names for Polish people is just horrible.
That's right.
So he made a tool like it's a hotkey that basically fixes the grammar of the line of text that you have selected in Mac.
Wow.
That's all it does.
Ah.
It's fast.
Yes.
Does one thing.
Wow.
And I thought like, hey, that's actually pretty cool.
Huh.
Because like you can make an app that has like thousands of functions.
Yes.
But this is something that everybody. I mean,
like different from the Grammarly plugin that's
Yes.
on Chrome. This is more like this is an OS level thing.
Yes.
You highlight it
Yeah.
and then hit a key.
and it's small. It does only one thing.
Oh,
It only
nice.
has like one. There's
Yes.
no interaction, no UI. You just hit the hotkey,
Oh, that's nice.
which is I don't know, option space enter whatever.
Huh.
And then it fixes the grammar of the text that you have selected. That's it. That's the only thing it
Brilliant.
does.
Oh, that's so good.
And it's I thought that's smart because
Wow.
it is something that people. I mean, I would use it like
Yes.
maybe idea for Robert.
Yeah.
You want to like maybe have a couple of options that you can change the prompts. Sometimes you want to like rewrite it for clarity, for example.
Oh, right.
Sometimes
Yes.
you want to rewrite it for I don't know, professionalism
Yes.
or whatever,
Ah,
or make it more formal or something like. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it should be like one or two or three like
kind of
options
what
of those.
Notion's doing. If you've
Yes,
ever used Notion,
yes,
you can say
exactly.
rewrite for
Yeah,
clarity.
yeah,
Ah, okay,
yeah,
those are cool
yeah,
features.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean these are smart things to do. Like one thing, do it well,
Yes.
and start with that,
Ah,
and say no to a lot of things.
yes.
But yeah, that's what I would do. And another thing that's still pretty much like in development is like the core technology.
Yeah.
And I think where we're going to is LLMs will be run locally on your device.
Yeah.
We're already seeing like good ones that run on iPhone. It won't take long before they run well on your watch.
That's right. Yeah.
And it definitely can run already well on your laptop. So that will continue. But we need like better models.
Yeah.
We're going to have like a GPT-4 level of model that run on your phone locally,
I see.
without internet,
Ah,
just locally. And that will happen at some point, I think.
that's right. Yeah.
But we need to invent like new technology to get there.
That's right.
That person will not be me.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Sorry, I touched the microphone.
No, you're right.
But
But we could be like several breakthroughs or research papers away. There could already be a research paper that has this, just like the
Exactly.
attention is all you need.
Yeah.
Could already be out there. Just nobody's really put it together into a product that can make it. You could just do some really funky. I mean, there's so much really interesting things that people can probably do, or PhD math, physicists, or somebody just from a different space bringing a different perspective. Or like, oh, we solved a similar complexity with here, or someone from neuroscience is like, oh, this is actually how the brain works, and like we should do it this way. It's much more efficient. And it's like, oh my God, AGI. No, like
it is. It all happens like you have different like people from different like backgrounds.
That's right.
And that it's. I mean, it's kind of what GPT is in a sense, right? I mean,
that's right.
I've read all these things about like people who went to a doctor, got results from a lab,
right.
and doctor said there's nothing wrong with you, and they just inserted all the results into GPT and said like what could be the issue, and then they got like very different information because
Right.
GPT knows about like chemicals, knows about
The more context you give it about
Exactly.
yourself, the
Yeah.
better it is at inferencing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it has a better probability.
exactly yeah. I mean GPT is this big brain that knows. It's not just a doctor because it read all the like medical journals probably.
Yeah.
But also like knows about physics and all these
Yes.
things. And sometimes you have problems that need like different viewpoints. And that's what GPT is extremely good in, or any
Some of
LLM.
the ways that, and maybe you can tell me if this is the way I should be seeing it, but I think of GPT-4 more like icebergs of information and like different categories or different concepts. Why I say icebergs is because sometimes you can tap into a concept in GPT and it goes really deep and really complex and can keep going and going and going and going. And other things you tap into, it doesn't really go that deep. But the thing is interesting is that like OpenAI is closed about what data they, they said that they trained on very specific things, but like, how is it really good at medical stuff? Like, we don't know the data, all of the implications that it was trained on. And you can't see below the icebergs. You literally have to be, have these types of special tools or work in OpenAI to know what's really kind of going on behind the scenes. And so as a user and as us building, we're kind of we're like a little like, little guy sailing on the water and then just seeing the icebergs within our view. And that's kind of what we pull in to see like which one's going to have like the most context for whatever we need. And that's what's really interesting. And for me, it's very exciting because I think there's just still so much untapped potential here. Even just the way that like I've been learning to try to prompt it. It's like, how do I get it to prompt better, so there's somebody online that on Twitter was talking about just the better context you give it, and then like the specific goals, so now my prompts are like almost like in 3 phases. So like I have, one of my secret sauces, I guess I've been learning, is that the LLMs comply very well if you use Markdown. So with my app TrueTorch that I'm basically, you can give it a blob of text and it just analyzes it and then spits back like, hey, here's some of the logical fallacies, here are some, emotional appeals, and all that stuff is just coming from the LLM itself. Like it's so good at understanding like these concepts with language.
So useful I tried it yesterday for the first time. I was blown away. It's so useful.
It's cool, and it's just literally GPT-4, and I was able to get it to comply very well, just giving it Markdown instructions. Like instructions in Markdown work really, really well, and then Claude, I try to do the same thing, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But I notice if I give instructions in XML for Claude, it tends to comply to those very, very well. So it is really weird how these systems are constructed and how they take that information and kind of feed that down to those other layers. But the consensus I get, it's like, by giving it this blob of text and then some of these instructions, it's kind of like it channels its energy into these areas that it knows kind of to tap in from and kind of do some type of inferencing and come back with this beautiful analysis. And I noticed that with GPT 3.5 it would hallucinate about what was in the document and make up logical fallacies and these things. For GPT-4 it just didn't do that at all, and I was like, that's a huge leap in terms of capabilities between the two models. And there has not been any other model that I've used that just had that specific logical capability for understanding tone or understanding what the text is and parsing out, conclusions about analyzing media or sentiment and understanding, what the person's intent was, and like, just thinking through logically of how things work. So I've been super impressed with GPT-4 and I'm just trying to test out my app, and I'm, thinking, should I release an iOS app? What considerations I have?
No, you should. I mean, it's I think, what you're doing is very important because there's so much misinformation. So what I did with your app, I copied a blog post from what's his name, Jordan Peterson?
Oh, Peterson, yes.
Oh God.
Oh, you have to show me the post.
It was brutal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So it was brutal.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's just the beginning of what is to come. That is just the end of the first part of my interview with Ronald. I'll be dropping a second part later on. Make sure you stay liked, subscribed, and locked into my channel at Fernando1337 on Twitter. And also drop any comments below if you're building any iOS apps. I'd love to hear from you. I'll talk to you soon, all right? Peace from Hawaii. Mahalo.